Greetings, Earthlings! My name is Zero Jake and welcome back to Space Engineers, where last time we created a force field around our base, amongst mining the requisite materials to build a force field around our base. Today, we're going to do something that will make our force field even more impressive, and then we're also going to be sorting out a bunch of different organization stuff to do with our ships. First things first, before we get started, I'd like to note that the Recon, our little fighter ship that we use to capture some of the pirate ships in space, has been decommissioned. Because I managed to break it on one of these pirate missions, and I could not be bothered to repair it. I'm also now noting the destruction, or rather the decommissioning, of the mining ship. Because I crashed it into something and it wasn't really recoverable. Well, technically it was glued to the freighter and I accidentally crashed it into the base. So I had to repair the damage from that. But everything of importance from there was gone, so I just scrapped the ship entirely. This means that we are left with our cargo freighter and our military escort. Which we are going to be working on and using both of these ships some more. We do need to get an alternate mining method for use in space, but that can be later. Right, so the military escort. I've done a bit of tinkering with the hull. I've removed some of the... Oh, this is heavy armor. I've installed heavy armor where there wasn't heavy armor, and I've also added its own shield generator, which means that it can generate its own shield and protect itself from enemy fire. If we want to have a look in the shield generator, it has a maximum hit points of 177,000 in comparison to the base, which currently stands at a maximum hit points of 211,000, mainly because of the power output and the maximum amount of shield hit points it can have based on its mass. Anyway, not mass, hit points, regular hit points, yeah. Anyway, today we're going to be building a air pressurize, yes, that's the name of it, a shield air pressurizer. We're going to be placing it here, and we'll supply it with oxygen so that we can pressurize the entirety of our base. So I don't have to deal with stupid airlocks anymore. Well, I'll still have airlocks, but I won't have to deal with them on a consistent basis. So yeah, I'm just going to get myself prepped, and then we will start construction. Okay, so over here in our little shield generator building, I've done a bit of work to make it a bit more presentable. You can see that there's a design coming along, but we have yet to add the reactors and batteries that I want to add to this structure. They will come later. I just need some more time and resources. So first of all, we have our lovely shield generator, which is going to be a pain in the ass to place down because it's so big. I don't know when people create such a big item. Yeah, so we're going to be placing it in line with the building. Let's kind of thing. So we've got a conveyor port. You can see a conveyor port just to our left. And we're going to be using that to feed it, and we want the air intake, which is on this side. We want it facing outwards. So we're just going to place it inside. Here should be good enough. I think that's right. Yeah, so it will be placed like this, and then we can do some armor detailing to make it not look horrendous. In addition, to speed this along, I'm going to place a welder here and activate the welder so it can weld it for us. Because I've learnt my lesson in terms of doing this properly. And that's not doing it properly. Yeah, and so we can just help that along. Fixed rooms, resetting doors. Interesting. I will have a poke at what that is later. Is that going to be persistent? No, it isn't. Right, so if we have a look at our shield pressurizer, which, hang on, if I'd stop messing around for a second. I need to clean up. I need to clean this up. We don't need the turrets on different control points. We just need them on one. It's because I'm not that lazy. So we can see that it requires 560 kilowatts in order to power itself, and it's got an ice to air volumetric ratio and a shield volume. Right. Presumably, this is the amount of oxygen we need in order for things to be pressurized. So we're going to have a look at our oxygen tanks to see how much oxygen we have. Apart from that's not how that works. There we go. So if we have a look at our oxygen tanks, which are currently up to maximum capacity, they are currently sitting at 100,000 each. So we need about 21 oxygen tanks full of oxygen, which is not something we generally have, which is why I went ahead and got some ice. So it seems like the rest of the ice that was here is gone. I swear I had more. Oh, hang on. I know where it's gone. It's gone into the hydrogen tank. And it's still going up. Yeah. Okay. In which case, you can't just be sitting here with ice, because we have ice somewhere else, surely. Or is it in a different inventory? Hang on. Or is empty. Give me 1 second. I'm investigating some mysterious circumstances. Yeah, we have 32,000 ice. And that number isn't updating, but our hydrogen reserves are going up. I have no idea what's going on here. But that's fine. We can... Yeah, it's a private sale. That's fine. Okay. We need to hook this up to the network. Thank God I installed this properly. Now, these slots should be usable for something else. And I will have a look at what that is at a later date. But for now, we'll just use this side to hook it up to the base. So let's get ourselves... well, let's grind ourselves out a path, grab ourselves some resources, and weld this up. Okay. So we're just welding up the last of this conveyor, and we should have the pressurizer in place. Well, it's not doing anything noticeable, but I didn't expect it to do that anyway. So let's have a look inside, and we'll have a look. Pressurizer. You do not seem to be getting any volume. In bug fix room pressure. Resetting doors. How intriguing.
Energy low.
Interesting. Is it that you're not going to fill it unless we have enough ice? Is it just going to check that we have the... Yeah, that's 21 million. Hang on. Okay. We're going to do a bit of testing. Yes? Yes. I'm going to decrease the size of the shield. Yeah, I know that's a bad thing to do. Right, I just need to remember the numbers. Right. 200, 300, 350. Right. So we're going to put this down to 100. Just decrease the size. Hang on, I'll put that to 150. Okay. So, if we zoom ourselves out, we can see that this is a bubble. This is a bubble, yes. The shield pressurizer is not within the bubble. I have no idea whether or not that's going to help. Backup generate. False. Shield volume 1.5 million. Yeah, we're going to need to decrease that more, aren't we? Yeah, we are. Okay. Decrease it by another factor. 50, 75. Just so that I remember what it's supposed to be. Right, that should be somewhat smaller. Yes? 187,000. Okay, that is somewhere. Now you're going to ask me whether or not we can actually get this working. Well, I'm inside it. It's not doing anything. Right, I'm going to have a look I'm going to have a look at other places, and we'll be back in a second once I have identified the source of the problem. Okay, that seems to be working. All I had to do was turn off our oxygen generators. Somehow. Basically, the pressurizer needs access to ice, so I presume we can set up something like this to ensure that it can automatically get the ice it needs, and so I can turn the oxygen generators back on, right? He says. Yeah, right. So, if we have a look at ice.
No energy.
Oh, I'm dying. Lovely. Let's get back inside. Hang on. If I'm inside here, I'm not dying. No, I am. Never mind. Please heal me. Thank you. Right. So inside here, it should get some oxygen. But it's going to take a lot of ice. Like, a stupid amount of ice. Right? I've no idea where all the ice I got went. And in there. Okay, have a look at the pressurizer again. So we can see that we're getting a O2 level. Yes? Eventually? Or are we not doing that anymore? We need to turn off the O2 generators. There's something really buggy about the ice at this point. Because it shouldn't be pulling from here. Is this oxygen? Hang on. Let's grab ourselves oxygen generators, and we're going to add a Tim tag to it. Priority 2. Stick that on all of this. Go to the pressurizer. Then this is ice P1. Right. Then we have a look at ice. Yes. And we should get maximum ice inside here, which means that the pressurizer should be pressurizing. Yeah. So we've filled up the volume. Which presumably means that if we're inside, our O2 should show us maximum, right? One would think. Right. Let's reset the shield to its actual values. Which is, what was it? 200, 300, 350. I'm going to have a look and see if that's right. Yeah, for the most part, that is correct. Okay. Well, if we have a look at our temperature, it is not very cold. It is now cold, which means that this is partially pressurized. Lovely. Oh, that's going to take a while. I might need more shield pressurizers. I don't even know if that would help. Yeah, because there's on the official guide for this mod, there is only one paragraph in the guide, which is something not generally useful, but hey, we're making progress, and presumably, for some reason, I have infinite ice. Who knows why? I don't know why. I shouldn't. Where's the ice coming from? Is it hidden in an inventory? Right, let's go grab everything. Oh no, because grabbing everything doesn't help us here. Well, the only things that I would turn off are cargo, so let's go grab cargo and make sure that they are on inventory. Let's check up ice again. No, they don't seem to be hidden anywhere. How peculiar. And then I need to get rid of all the turret inventory. Don't think I need to get rid of the rest. Cargo warehouse, med room, and... No, not med room. Landing pad. Need to get off the inventory. Right, okay. I'm going to stop messing around with that because we've done what we needed to. We are slowly but surely pressurizing this place. Okay? That's all you need to know. Oh, we've got a progress bar. Got a little progress bar here. Now, I assume, right, because of how this block is set up, I've not set this up in a way that the block actually wants me to do so. Because technically, we should be placed like this, because there's a control panel here which I can access. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you, but I've got my own ways of doing this. Right. Lovely. Why did I get rid of that card container? I still need it. Because I'm a moron. Yes, I am. Right. I need to stop saying that. I need to say what I'm actually doing next. Yes, that would be a lovely idea. Right, let's grab some steel. Steel. And also get my tanks refilled. That. I need to get the steel back. Well, first of all, I need to get my tanks back. Such a drag. Right. We have the tanks. Yes. And we're effectively just going to cover this in steel plate. Make it so that it looks a part of this base instead of something ugly sticking out of it. At least that's the aim. Oh god, that's a lag spike. I wonder if something bad happened in the calculations. Oh, give me a second. I've got a the latency between me, well, my movement and my actions is getting a bit high. Yeah. So for now that will work. I'll try and find a way to make this look a bit more appealing, but that's not what we're here for today. Well, not anymore. Probably place some box here. No, that's not the welder. Thank you. And the other side. Excellent. Okay, now on to the second problem that we have. Nearly every single time I've tried to land either of these ships, I've had to land it down here at the, well, inside the crater, which, you know, is something doable, but it does add a lot of time to my transit. Well, a lot of effort to my transit, because transit time can be whatever it wants. We're in space. And in addition, this military escort does not do well with landing on its own thrusters. The military escort also needs all of its thrusters changed to T2, because we need to make this thing fast. We also need to outfit it with guns. Guns would actually be useful. We'll get to that at some point in the future, but what I want to do now is I want to set up a preliminary dock that is not here. Now, I would do this between sessions and then show it off, but that's not particularly useful. So we're going to go get into the freighter and navigate ourselves to a position in which I would feel comfortable flying to. And apparently the freighter isn't pressurized. What? You should be. Oh, because there's no ice in the O2 generator. You're on. You have ice. Where's my oxygen? Or is it because we're inside a pressurized field? It might be the pressurized field. Right. Get ourselves. Okay. Yeah, reload the terrain if you feel like it. So, if we have a look at our lovely section of base, or rather section of crater that we have built in, we can see that this area here has got a lot of, well, it's relatively high in comparison to the terrain, so this is probably the best place to start building our little dock, because I might as well steal as many of these freighters as I can and start making a fleet, so to speak, or start to build my own. And I want to be able to build my own ships without having to be on the ground, so That's somewhat useful. And we've got a lot of, we've got significant clearance from the rest of the base, and we can build the rest of this out with buildings and what have you, installing different mods that do different things. So we could have like a greenhouse or a nanite factory, but that's much later once I found a plot reason to install that mod again. Right. First things first. We're going to need to measure out how big we want this first test, so to speak, of a shipyard, and try not to kill ourselves in the process. It's not going to work in the weather I wanted to. Ah, bugger. Oh well. Well, that was a complete waste of time. You may or may not be lucky enough that I didn't show that on camera. Who knows? I want to leave. Are you going to let me leave? Thank you for letting me leave. I'm going to work on that prototype. And I'm just going to park this freighter down in the previous bay where it should be. Okay, so we've done a bit of work. And next episode, we are going to soup up the military escort with all of the fancy things that it needs to do the job that the recon was doing, except do it better. But until then, my name has been Zero Jake, crashing a spaceship. End transmission.